don't forget to click that subscribe and bell icon to receive a notification each time I upload a new video. Hi everyone, it's Mike here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I want to introduce you to a new 8-page Digi download set of some beautiful, stunning vintage style flower fairies. So let me turn over to my overhead camera and I'll show you through the set and then we'll have a play with one of them. Okay, so I'm hoping my camera is going to do these justice because, you know, in reality they're absolutely beautiful, but my camera sometimes has a tendency to either make things too dark because it can't cope with the light in here, or bleach things out a little bit. So hopefully if it does, I'll try and fix it, as they say, in post-production. So let me introduce you to the new vintage flower fairies. So as you can see, this is one of them. They're 8 inches by 8 inches because obviously 8 inches is a common size for people to be able to print on, whether you're on Imperial 8.5 by 11 or metric A4. You can print these at home. Any big elves, if it was 12 by 12, most people can't print them. So the easiest way to do these is to print them on an A4 to make them 8 inches by 8 inches, which fits both sizes. So yeah, they're CMYK formulated, so they're ideal for home printing on your inkjets and your lasers. And as you can see, they're absolutely stunning. Some of the backgrounds have got brick textures, watermarks or script in different kind of colours, and there's a kind of grungy edge to them when you print them out. So this is the first one. So there's, like I said, there's 8 in total. Number 2, beautiful. I love the way that they kind of disappear off towards the bottom as well, and they've got kind of different butterflies, some made up from or look like they're turning into butterflies from leaves. Absolutely stunning. The faces are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. This one's got long, beautiful ringlets with flowers in her hair. There's butterflies all the way around. This one, again, butterflies in her hair as well as flowers. There's some butterflies just on the side, dropping leaves. This one I think is probably one of my favourites. The dress looks like it's made up of crocheted lace, which is absolutely beautiful. And again, there's butterflies and flowers in her hair and those gorgeous kind of long ringlets. It kind of reminds me of the Eurythmics There Must Be an Angel Playing With My Heart video, where Annie Lennox has got that long blonde curly kind of ringleted wig. But yeah, I love that one. That's probably one of my favourites in the whole set, as is this one. Look at that, she's actually holding a little group of flowers in her hands, but look at her earrings. I'm hoping it's not going to bleach out too much, but look at those earrings. Oh, just beautiful. And again, we've got kind of leaf formed butterflies in the background, and this one, she's kind of pensive, thinking about it. So all different poses, but all in a very, very similar style. So that very nicely curated collection of these. There's 8 here, but I actually do have, I think it's 13 in the set. There are 1 or 2 which weren't really suitable, I don't think, which is why I've not included them. But it was a real struggle deciding which ones were to go in. So again, butterflies, falling flowers, flowers and leaves in a hair. Beautiful, beautiful kind of hair. So that's all 8. So just to show, obviously I've printed these off full size at 8 inches by 8 inches, but obviously when you buy the Digi download you can resize them as much as you want. So this is the Momigami journal. So I've resized that one just 75%, which if you wanted it as a focal point in an art journal, which I do, then that's going to work perfectly. So I'm going to create a quick art journal page in the Momigami journal using this smaller image, like I said, just reduced down by, or to 75%, so reduced by 25%. So let me just pop that to one side. I'm going to cut her out of the background, and I'm going to kind of leave this sort of fuzzy-ish down here. I'm not going to cut the the fussy cut the butterflies out, but I will go around the rings. I'll try and do my best to go around the hair. So I'll do that. I'll either put it on fast forward or I will just skip to the end. And I'm not being particularly too fussy with the cutting around the bottom. We'll go just down there. There we go. And I've just printed this on bog standard photocopy or printer paper. I've not printed this on card or anything like that. Okay, so off I go, and I'll be back once I've manoeuvred my way around the image. And I'm back. There we go. Right, so in hindsight, I think I probably should have just used the scalpel to cut her out, because it was thinner paper, so it's probably a lot easier. I kept catching the blade on the next piece of paper, which was pulling the others round, but yeah. She's pretty. She's so pretty. Right, okay, so journal. Let's turn to the next page, or should we just do a random page somewhere in here? Let's just do a random page. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a little coat of white gesso. There we go, grab a brush, a little bit of water, just wet the brush, bit of gesso, and then I'm going to just start knocking back the pattern. It'll still show through a little bit. But I'm not going really strong. And the papers in the Mumigami journal are still fairly supple. They've not dried out at all. So, and they've not gone mouldy either. Somebody said, oh, your pages will go mouldy if you do that. No, they haven't. I'm happy to say. So I might just need a couple of coats just to get the kind of depth that I want in the background. But I think as a base layer, that's fine. Alright, do layer number 2. Let's get a bit more on this time. There we go, that's more like it. So, like I said, it will die back a little bit. So what I want to do now is if I can grab some paint, introduce a little bit of kind of warm brown into that background. So what we got, honey brown, so just a little bit. Just in areas while it's still wet. So this is Deco Art Americana. I never shook it up either, did I? Or did I? Maybe I did. So I'm just mixing it while the gesso's still wet, just to get a nice kind of bit of a blend. But I'm going to start adding in just some darker kind of areas. Let's get a bit that darker over there. blend that out a little. So just drag a little bit of that down. Okay, that's fine. Just clear that little bit up with some water. Get that dried off. Okay, and now I want some little bit of green bringing in. So what I'm going to do is I think I'll use whatever's lying on my desk. So I've got this bamboozle stencil. That'll do. Just a little bit of like green into the background. Right, got a sponge. I'll just cut me a little wedge off. Let's just rub it a little. I'm not going for a perfect impression, I just want a little bit of a hint of the pattern. So just a little bit there. Nice and diffused. Just there, and we'll just have a little bit down here at the bottom. Coming in a little bit like that and down towards the edge. Lovely. Right, that will do for that. Again, clean up, dry off, and I'll be back. Next up, I'm bringing in some darker brown. So this is dark chocolat. Alright, so, oh, talking of dark chocolate, this will make you giggle. Our new next door neighbours to, as you're looking at the house on the left, when you're in the garden, it's the ones on the right. The chappie that lives next door with his wife, he celebrated his 37th birthday this weekend, and his wife Sam made him a white chocolate and raspberry cheesecake, but also made some double chocolate cookies with like a gooey chocolate centre, and she brought some round for us, and I had a couple of the cookies because I'm not all that fond of raspberries. Ian is, and they were so chocolatey that I swear to God I was as high as a kite for about an hour afterwards. Really, really chocolatey. They were beautiful. Okay, so brown chocolate. I'm adding in some splatters right before. That's it. So I want to get plenty of those. And if I can get a few big globs, yes, that's the sort of thing I was hoping for. There we go. Then some smaller ones. Right, that'll do. That will do. And of course the splatters have gone everywhere, as they usually do. So I'm adding them on first because I want those in the background. But before I dry that off, what I also want to do is I want to do some mark making with some circles. Now, if I can remember what I did with my, here it is. So this is my collection of mark making paraphernalia, but I could do actually with maybe some larger circles as well as some smaller circles. So what I might try and grab is a lid from something else. this is a clear superfine embossing glaze. That'll do. So I've got 2 little circles there. So what I want to do now is I want to bring in some darkish green, if I can. See, this is what happens when you change your mind on the hoof. I'm just getting some more paints out. There we have it. Right, so we've got avocado or desert cactus. I think I'm going to go, excuse you, little buzzy fly just came in. I think I'm going to go with the avocado. So it's a warm day today, so I've got the windows open. And also the back doors into the garden open for the boys. I don't want to go too gloopy, so let's just audition a little fit. There we go, that's fine. So we'll do a couple of small ones over here, a couple over that side, and a couple down here, and then we'll come back in and try and mix up that large one. I think we've got all the way around. That's it. Lovely. And I've managed to get some of that brown paint on the fairy. That's spot on, I think. Right, so tidy up, clean up, dry up. I'll be back in a second. Get rid of that first. Okay, that's now dry, so I want to add in a little bit more stenciling into that background. So I've got some yellow ochre. I think actually, no, not yellow ochre. I want to try and bring in some of that warmth from the pink in the flowers. So that's a bit too orangey, I think. What we got there? Bright salmon, maybe a bit too much. Coral shell, maybe a little bit too bright. I think the salmon is going to do it. So let's just pop that to one side. Give the paint a good shake up. Okay, and I've got another piece of spongy, just a piece of makeup sponge, just cut, just work it into the sponge, and then I'm just going to lightly dab, not going to scrub this time. Just like that. That little fly's having a whale of a time behind me. And then we'll do a little bit, just so it kind of joins with that olive stencil that we had earlier. And I'm just working around the shapes that we already have there, just trying to get them to join a little bit. So I'm also going to add another little bit just in this section here. So this stencil is obviously brick wall and is available on my website now if you're interested, if you like the look of it. I've been accused recently of not promoting my products enough. So, okay, there we are. So that's going to be that brick. And then what I also want to do is I also want to bring in a bit more darkness. So I've got another stencil. This is the Dirty Circle. So originally I had a 6x6 version, and then when I went on to the new sizes, I obviously went on to a bigger sized stencil. Right, so will you go away? It's attracted to the lights, that's what it is. That's what the issue is. Right, so ganache, just a light whiz, and then I'm just going to ooh, that's going to be quite dark. Just go very gently over the top. I've gone a little bit heavy in some areas, but that's okay. I didn't want to go too heavy. Yeah, just a little bit. I think maybe it's a bit too strong. Go away, Mr. Buzzy Fly. Right. Yeah, I think it's going to be a bit too subtle. It's either too heavy or too subtle. But anyway, this texture there. Note to self, don't use the stays on with the distressing thing. Okay, so I've managed to get a bit of paint on her face. Do you know what? I might just do her again. Cut her out again because I've got splatters of paint. Right, obviously I'm not going to make you sit and watch me go through that whole process again, but I'm going to do it again. So I will stop the video here and I will run away and do all that bit, and then I shall come back and I'll pop her back down on there. And there we have it. So there's the new one. That was the old one with the splatters. Gone. Right, I did take the opportunity of just lightening up a little bit, and also because I had the extra time off camera, I just did a bit more kind of fluffiness around there. So I think I'm going to be able to stick that down there. I'm just hoping that the exposure on this camera is not too bright or too bleaching things out a little. I'm hoping you can get a bit more colour, or you can see a bit more colour. It's really difficult for me to be able to tell. Let me just zoom in a little bit. There you go. Maybe if we focus in on her now. It's trying to auto-focus. Yeah, looking a little bit washed out, but like I said, I'll try and fix that in post-production. Okay, so Fair is going to go down. What I want to do then is I'm going to glue her down using matte medium. There we go, slap it on matte. It's a fairly kind of wrinkly surface anyway, and I've only used either acrylic paint or oil-based, solvent-based inks, so nothing's going to smudge. He says, in theory. So let's just give that a real good going over on the base. So there's plenty of it. Try and eliminate as many wrinkles as we possibly can from the back of the image. So I'm going to paint outwards from the middle. Fingers crossed. Right, so theoretically that should eliminate 90% or reduce the chances of getting wrinkles. Right, what did I do with my cleaning cloth? My desk and work area really needs a good tidy up. I'm in desperate need of new shelving because I've got storage issues. So fingers crossed. I've just dropped that brush into the water, so let me just see if I can even out. There we go. That should be perfect. Okay, let's get it dried off, get rid of the shine. Okay, we're on the last furlong now, I think. So just to kind of finish off, I want to add in some stamping into the background. So I've got my indigo blue, trusty indigo blue script stamp, which is still available on their website, even though it's a very old one. I think it's probably one of the first stamps that they ever produced. And the thing with indigo blue is that it doesn't matter how old the stamp is, they never retire a stamp. So even if it's like the very first one they ever produced, you can still buy it, which I think is really useful. Right, so I'm just going to put a little bit up there, a little bit here, and of course I've got the upward arrow so I know exactly which direction the stamp's supposed to go in. Now, not using a stamp block gives you an uneven pressure, so you get more of a free-form kind of effect on it. I just want to put a little bit up there in the corner, so I'll just go down here at the bottom. So if I just lay it down like so, just push down with my fingers, the pressure is going to be where my fingers are. There we go. Yeah, I think that will do. I'm happy with that. For now. Right, okay, so we need to just get that dried off a little. Now that all that's dry, I'm going to just introduce a little bit of grunge, if you like. So this is a Stabilo all pencil, it's water soluble. I've just got a little bit of water here. So this is going to just mix up to make a little bit of kind of like watercolour. So all I'm going to do is just, what I should have done really is probably just gone round the bubbles in this corner. That probably would have been the sensible thing to do, and then activate just to kind of create a little bit of darkness. It's actually quite light, but just creates a little bit of shadow. And then we'll go maybe up here a little bit. So I'm going to go a bit heavier, just there. And then you can just blend away. So it just adds a little bit of darkness and vintageness, if that indeed is a new thing. So a tiny touch of water. Might be just a little bit too much, to be honest. Just activate I'm just going to turn that round. And then I'm just going to add a little bit just underneath there to just kind of create a little bit of a drop shadowy thing. Very eloquently put, shadowy thing. So this is disappearing quite surprisingly. It's just disappearing away. Perhaps I've got too much water. But it is adding a little bit of shadow. But not a huge amount. It's very subtle. It's just darkening it up a little bit. But I wanted to keep the circles a little bit lighter. Right, let me just dry it off because there might be a little bit too much water up there. In fact, let me just... There we go. Okay, that's drier. So, yeah, a little bit more there. A little bit more there. Just a little bit more there, and maybe a little bit up the top. Right, I'm not going to get a lot of water on the brush. So I want it just barely damp. I can hear puppy dogs running around. What are you playing up? What are you doing? Hello, Mr. Nip. I think he's just woke up. Have you just woken up? Eh? Have you? The door's open if you want a wee-wee. You don't have to come and ask me. So there was enough water on that brush that I didn't need to add any more. Just blend that away. Lovely stuff. Yeah, I'm happy with, maybe just bring that round just to continue that circle a bit more at that side. Just take it up to the butterfly wing. Just helps kind of like to define it a little bit. It might not be a perfect circle anyway. And then we've got maybe just a little bit down there. Just to kind of define that circle there a little bit. There we go. It's all sort of grunged. It knocks those colours back a little bit. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. So once again, just let me dry that off. Alright, so that's nice and dried. So I thought what we'll do, just to finish off, is I'll add some white splatters this time. So back with the white gesso, just with a small brush, pick up a little bit of the white gesso. And then to make sure I don't get any of the white gesso onto that other fairy, I'm going to lay the one where I've gunged up first of all. In fact, let's make it so it's a bit heavier than that. so we get some decent just helps to break up that background and helps to consolidate. There we go. Not to mention splashing everywhere you possibly can. One of these days I'll show you the wall next to my work desk and how many splashes there are up it. Okay, so just give that a quick clean off, dry that up. Okay, so just to finish off then, now I was thinking maybe just adding a one-word prompt or a one-word quote. I've got my tub filled full of word stickers that are in here, collected over a few years. So what we got on that sheet there, just one word. What about dreamer? That'll do. Shouldn't really say that'll do, shall I? Should I really? Quotes and things are okay, but sometimes I like to do a page and not put anything on it at all. But there we go. Right, so let's just go around that. And then I think what also I'm going to do, just because there's no other black on this, but this is only here just to make it pop. That flies back, I've let it out once. Like that, is I'm also going to add some illegible writing just here. Cool. Yeah. Like it. And then just to finish off, I'm going to sign it and date it. Dated it today. It is Tuesday the 23rd. Obviously this won't be going live until Wednesday. Ooh, 23/5/23 today. There we go. So there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed watching me create this art journal page in my Momigami journal, and I hope you enjoy, or I hope you like these beautiful new vintage flower fairy images, which are, as I said, they're available to download now on my website. So that's all from me for today. If you've enjoyed me creating this page, please remember to give the video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. That one there. That's all from me for now. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. And don't forget, you can access your exclusive angel-only content over on my website. There's a link in the description area below. Thank you.